CHEK Television has been an icon in British Columbia since 1956, when it became BC's first privately owned television station. CHEK has changed affiliations several times throughout its 53-year history, starting out as a CBC affiliate when it launched, then changing to a full-time CTV channel in the 1980s, and finally becoming a member of Canwest's secondary network in 2001. One thing that hasn't changed, however, is the station's commitment to local news.
Tonight on CHEK News.
CHEK was Victoria's only television channel until the year 2001. Yet, even after CIVI was well established in Victoria, CHEK's local newscast remained the highest rated on the South Island. In addition to being Victoria's most watched newscast, CHEK has been heavily involved in community activities as well, providing plenty of coverage to Our Place, a homeless outreach centre in downtown Victoria.
Our doors wouldn't be open if it wasn't for the coverage that you've done over the years.
CHEK has also been heavily involved in the Victoria Day Parade and has helped Crime Stoppers to catch many criminals in the past. In 2001, CHEK, along with CHEK Television in Red Deer, as well as several other TV stations across Canada, were purchased by Canwest Global and made to form the CH Television secondary network. Thanks to mismanagement and an already huge debt load, Canwest failed to make the stations profitable, and, in August of 2008, Canwest began cutting costs. CHEK, along with CHCA's entire production team, was sacked, and the control room for all E-channels moved to major centres. In the case of CHEK, to the CHAN Master Control in Vancouver, BC. When these cost-cutting measures failed to provide the desired result, Canwest announced that it would be taking drastic action.
Good evening. Hudson Mack is away tonight. I'm Mary Beth Burton. It is the end of a broadcasting era on Vancouver Island. After 53 years on the air, CHEK TV is fading to black.
Canwest said that closing the station was a last resort, and with no prospective buyers showing up, they would be forced to shut the station down due to money concerns. CHEK wasn't the only local broadcaster slated to be closed. Red Deer, Alberta's CHCA TV was shut down on August 31st. Their final news program, celebrating their nearly 53 years on air, broadcast just a few days before the station's closure.
Good evening and welcome to a very special CHCA News broadcast. We have a special hour filled with a bittersweet look back at the past 50 years of this station through its evolution and changes, highs and lows, and of course the major local events. But before we get to that, let's start with what we've been doing for the past.
Reaction to the proposed closure of CHEK Television was swift and overwhelmingly negative.
I'm royally pissed off that nothing has been done to keep CHEK TV on air.
I think it's really unfortunate. I think we're a big enough city, we're a big enough island, we need local.
It's a shame that we're losing any local media coverage. I think it's an important part of our community. Keeps you up to date, and it's sad that it's going.
I don't think that's very good at all.
Why is that?
Well, I think we need representation of the news and on the island, and Victoria especially, because that's where I live. And I think that's awful.
It's short-sighted on the part of the parent companies. I mean, this is a growth area. And the rest of the country may not be, but definitely a growth area, and local news is important.
After the closure announcement, CHEK's employees announced that they intended to purchase the station from Canwest and run it themselves as an independent station. Much like KVOS in Bellingham, Washington, the station would feature older movies, paid programming, syndicated shows, and CHEK would get to keep its local newscast. CHEK employees managed to come up with $2.5 million, but when approached by this number, the officials at Canwest rejected the offer, saying that $2.5 million wasn't enough to keep the station on air throughout the 90-day transition period, in which the license would have been handed over to the CHEK employees. On August 31st, 2009, CHEK was slated for its last day of operation. A party was organized in the parking lot of CHEK TV for everyone who wanted to attend. As CHEK was gearing up for its final newscast, anchor Scott Fee made a surprise announcement.
So there you have it. You're hearing now from John Pollard. There has been a development in the closure of CHEK News. We will be on the air tomorrow.
And late today, Canwest announced a one-day extension to those talks, meaning CHEK TV will be on the air at least tomorrow night.
This announcement was met by cheers from the crowd who had gathered in the parking lot at CHEK Television. Late on September 4th, after nearly 5 days of negotiations, Canwest announced that CHEK TV would be sold to its employees. Now, details of the agreement were scarce. However, INET has learned that a local investors group has stepped up to the plate and is willing to back the CHEK employees. The end result is a good one. 45 people get to keep their jobs, and British Columbia's longest-running private television station gets to stay on air. For INET, this is Christopher reporting.